Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. When Jesus saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. By now it was already late, and his disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already very late. Dismiss them so they could go to the surrounding farms and villages and buy them something to eat." He said to them in reply, "Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, "Are we to buy 200 days' wages worth of food and give it to them to eat?" He asked them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when they found out, they said, 5 loaves and 2 fish. So he gave orders to have them sit down in groups on the green grass. The people took their places in rows by hundreds and fifties. And then taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided the fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 12 wicker baskets full of fragments of what was left of the fish. And those who ate of the loaves were 5,000 men. The Gospel of the Lord.
Were you paying attention to the Gospel? Did you notice how the Holy Mass is reflected in this passage? The first thing that Jesus does is he sees the vast crowd and he has pity on them because they've come to him because they're looking for help. He's hearing people cry out, "Lord, have mercy." And they get his attention. It's a vast crowd. And after he has pity on them, it says he teaches them. But they're hungry. Why would he teach them first? He teaches them because he's a shepherd. And he wants to lead his flock in truth. Because Jesus is the way and the truth and the life. And so he teaches them probably something like how much God loves them and how much all love is predicated on God himself. He teaches them what we call self-giving love. Like the Mass, the whole Mass is oriented around the sacrifice of Christ, God loving the world and laying down his life at the cross, which we enter into at every Mass. And his love is poured out over us by the gift of his life, the gift of his ascension, the gift of his resurrection. And now, immersed in that gift itself, the gift of the Eucharist. So after the teaching and the Word of God, which St. John says God is love, but before you have love, you have to have the truth of love. Because we, as fallen human beings, mostly see love about what interests us, and how we feel, and how others make us feel. But for Jesus, love is about self-donation, laying down your life for your friends. And when a community gathers and does that in mutual caring, everybody's need is taken care of, not because somebody takes, but because everybody's giving. It's a whole reorientation about community and about life that is what we call the church when it works properly. And so, what Jesus does here also is the Father sends Jesus so the Trinity can be present, and in the power of the Holy Spirit, Jesus comes. In other words, Jesus is not working as a singularity. Jesus is working in a community. He's working in the community of the Trinity. He's never alone. And so, what he does is he replicates the mission of the Trinity with the disciples by asking them to share in the ministry. It seems odd at first that Jesus doesn't distribute the bread, but it's because he wants to pull the disciples in and get them to start doing what he does, to love in union with the truth of the Trinity. And so he does first, so like any good Mass, he begins by having a collection before communion. He asks the disciples to put their resources together and make sure there's bread on the table, which they do. And compared to the riches of heaven, they're giving him a poor offertory. But he blesses it, and it becomes the satisfaction for everyone. He blesses it because it's the beginning of the vision that Mark is showing of what the Holy Mass is. The bread and wine is blessed, and it becomes his very self giving nourishment and life to the community. And so the apostles are participants in this in the same way as a priest is commissioned to minister the body of Christ. And this is all done without cost. Like the prophet Isaiah, why should you spend your money on what is not bread? There is the allusion to the real bread, the bread from heaven. Nobody in the crowd pays for the bread, but somehow the bread all materializes and it's given, and everyone is fed to satisfaction. He says a blessing breaks the bread and distributes the loaves. And then the disciples distribute the loaves to the world. After communion, this will be your commissioning today, to distribute the authentic love of Christ, not your version of love, but the bread from heaven, the love of Jesus Christ to the world.
Regina Caeli, letare, alleluia, qui aquam meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia, ora pro nobis Deum, alleluia.